thing. Hey, hello everyone, anyone who's watching out there. It's the Grey Man back again, and I'm joined by my mate Kris, who does a website called Metal 101. We've been chatting a lot on Facebook and that, and I've seen his posts, and he tags me in his posts as well. He recommends bands to me by tagging me in his posts. And basically, you do lots of. Do you want to talk about your website? It's just like a review website, isn't it?
Just a basic underground reviews, underground bands, new bands, underground, unsigned.
Yeah.
Just the basic.
Is you were like me? Sorry.
Pardon?
I think we've got a bit of lag as well. I think we've got a bit of lag because your internet's a bit screwy today. So I'll try and shut up for a little while and let you talk. What I was going to say, how long have you been into the underground metal bands for?
I've been doing it for a couple of years now, but I've always liked discovering new bands since I was my teens. Always discovering new bands. So
and do you go to a lot of underground? You do, don't you? Go to a lot of underground gigs in your area. Then you're up north, aren't you? Newcastle or something?
Newcastle, the Biker Grave, which with lockdown and that, nothing's happened this year or last year.
No.
So
I look yesterday. My last gig was March last year. I managed to catch one just as COVID had broken out. Probably the last gig that I did in London, probably, I don't know. There was a pretty decent black metal gig anyway, but someone commented on the video yesterday and I was like, oh man, it's like, that was the last gig I went to. It's like, when you think about it, like as a like staunch underground supporter, how many gigs you might go to, 10 in a month or whatever, or, depending how active you're feeling. But it's kind of weird to think that you've not had a gig for, God, nearly 2 years now.
Yeah,
is that right?
I think.
No, nearly a year. Nearly a year. What am I talking about?
About a year and a half, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, possibly more if you didn't catch any before then. But anyway, let's get on to your music memories then. So basically on this show, we just share 5 memories that you have to do with music. So you're going to show a few CDs and records. Let's start off with your first one. I'll change this. I'll put you on the full screen.
See the bands. I can't really see the band's name really well. It's Hallelujah or something. ARALLU. I've reviewed their music a few times.
Okay, I've not heard of that. Aralu. The Israeli band, isn't it? Yeah, Israeli. I know them.
Yeah. Well, I bought a few of their records.
Yeah.
And this one came with a bit of a surprise.
Okay.
I got this one signed.
Oh, nice one. Yeah.
So I think this one is 6th album's called.
Right. Is that the 6th album as well, is it? Is actually the 6th album?
I think so. Not too sure. But
I have played them on my podcast as well, actually. Yeah. They're pretty decent.
They're really good.
Yeah. It's Israeli band, because I remember they're kind of like a death, slightly doom death, are they?
Black Death with
Black Death. Right.
Well, Middle Eastern influences.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah.
Pretty decent stuff. I saw you posting it up on Facebook when you got it, and because is it called Gene Aralu? Is his name
Genie,
up on Genie Aralu? Yeah.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. So
yeah. Do you know of any other Australian bands? Because I remember there was Salem. Was there anything called Salem at one point? And I think Marrakesh. Are they from Israel as well?
So. I've just reviewed a band. I think it was Said Destruction or something. They're a new band that's come out from Israel. They were Black and Death. They were good. But you can find that one on my website. I reviewed them.
The links to your website is down below. If anyone wants to check out Kris's website, the link is down below in the description. Well, my blog post is there, and then actually the link is there. Not a blog post; it's the link. The link is straight there. And one of the things I was going to say, like talking about starting off with an Israeli band, is like the great thing with the underground. It's like heavy metal is everywhere, isn't it? There's bands all over the world. Like every little tiny country, even if you don't know about them, there are probably bands there you just don't know about them yet.
Yeah. And that's my first Israeli extreme metal band I got into as well. So it was a nice surprise, especially from that side of the country, because you know what they're like in Iran, Iraq.
Yeah.
They have their problems.
Yeah, it's something like in some places that stuff like heavy metal will be considered as blasphemous and like against the law kind of thing. I mean, you hear tales of like bands in like not was it Palestine or Iran or something like that, Iraq, like I think it was Iran. Some band got arrested, didn't they, for being in a heavy metal band. Sometimes it happens in places like Indonesia, I think, or was it? I can't remember. But I have definitely read stories about people being arrested just for being in a heavy metal. Yeah. It's weird. Like I always like it when I discover a new band that I never heard about before. Did you ever get hold of that Mongol Records compilation called Fangs? They've done 2 volumes of it, and it's like all African bands. It's like mainly South Africa, but there's a few bands like in like little tiny, well, not tiny, they're probably big countries, but like Chad and stuff like that. And it's like, I never would imagine seeing a band from there, like Zimbabwe and that kind of stuff. It's kind of like, I've
heard the term African heavy metal, and you can find out Wikipedia. I've heard the term, and I went, metal from Africa.
That's right. Yeah, there was, and they have. Some of them have got like African influence as well. One of the bands that I played, I can't remember what they were called now, but I played them on my podcast a while back, and they had like African kind of tribally drums. Plus, they were singing in their own like local language as well. And I just thought that's pretty cool. I know another one I played from Africa. They played a reggae metal. I'd never heard reggae metal before. And it's like it wasn't like massively reggae, but there was little snippets in there like of that kind of like beat that the reggae has, kind of thing. Not that I'm a really reggae expert or anything, but it's. That's the thing with heavy metal. You always can discover new bands from new countries and doing new things.
Yeah, that's why I like doing the reviews as well. So it's a big surprise what you'll find in the music. Like I've come across through that. So yeah.
Do you get sent a lot of promos and you review them?
I do. I get sent them, so it's nice. I've got a band called Magic Opera that's coming up tomorrow. Their album's just not getting released till February, but I've been asked to check them out and review it, so I was happy, brilliant.
The thing is, do you find like, I mean, because I get so many promos as well for doing my podcast, and I only get time to listen to them other than like choosing tracks for the show. And then like when you're reviewing them, obviously you got to listen to them a few times to review them, but then it's hard to get ones that stand out that you could listen to again and again because of the fact you've got so many new ones to listen to.
Yeah, it can get built up on you. Like, I think last Sunday I did 7 reviews over the weekend, and I was like, my head by Tuesday, it's like I need a break.
Yeah. And then I used to do a fanzine as well back in the day, so I used to review a load of bands then as well. But I'd try to like play them over and over again and write sort of go as I went along kind of review. So as I thought of something, I'll add a little bit to that one, and I'll go to another one. I'll add a little bit to that one after I've played that one, kind of thing. And then after a while, I'd crack on and do the whole review sort of the thing. But normally I had to have a couple of beers because like it helped the old words to flow, even if it made no sense. If I don't care, I'm gonna write it anyway because I'm slightly pissed. That's how I used to
doing this on my own, not working for anybody else, because I can put in the words I want. Do it how I want.
Yeah. Have you ever had any negative feedback from anyone for your reviews?
None.
That's good.
Never had none. I think I've had a few that's never got back in touch with me, and I'll just say, whatever.
Yeah, it happens.
But I don't think I've ever. No, never. Not once. There's always going to be one. But
hey, Sleepy Reader, you got one of my mates in chat. What band? When did you first actually get into heavy metal? Then, how long have you been listening to? What band broke you into it?
Well, when I was a kid, I was born 1979, so you think back then television wasn't what television is today.
No.
So all it was listen to my mum's records, the glam rockers,
right?
Slade, Suede, rock and roll. You're talking about Little Richard.
Oh right,
bands like that.
Proper 50s rock and roll, plus some of the 70s glam bands.
60s, Queen, Meatloaf.
Yeah.
I got into heavy metal because my mom introduced me to Black Sabbath,
All right.
their
That's a
first
good
album.
one. Yeah.
Their first album, and that's when I never looked back.
Yeah.
I think when I got into the extreme music was late 20s when my good friend gave me a taste of Cradle of Filth,
Right.
and then I never looked back.
Right.
Um,
It's got heavier and
so
heavier. Yeah.
it's gradually got heavier and heavier and heavier,
Yeah.
and
It's
I've
a
never
weird
looked back.
Yeah, it's a weird musical journey, isn't it? Because I started off with Iron Maiden, and I remember first time listening to, like, for example, Onslaught. I thought, oh, this is heavy. Wow, this is a bit strong. And like Acid Rain, I thought, whoa, what's going on here? And like, and Bathory, I was like, oh, this is noise. And after a while, he's like, actually, no, I'm feeling the rhythm now. I'm picking up that riff. That riff is really getting in my brain, and suddenly it's like, that's it, slippery slope, and you're down into the depths of the underground, listening to like porno grind or whatever. Maybe not as bad as
The
that.
heaviest one I've ever discovered was the band from Australia, Berserker.
Oh yeah, I've seen them live actually. Yeah,
Have you?
I've seen them at the Underworld. Yeah. What a long while, but they were just like really fast.
And the masks,
so like being, like being smacked in the face. You know, we were smacked in the face with riffs, kind of like you feel your hair being blown backwards, kind of things. Like, oh wow. But a good thing as well about heavy, you can have heavy, fast stuff, heavy, brutal, kind of deep slugging, chugging stuff, and also like sometimes the doom, like the really stonery doom, could be like I went to see a band called Lesbian, and they were just kind of wall of noise, like it was just like all these riffs going on, all like piled on top of each other. And I was just like, I was kind of I felt like I was in a bit of a stupor, like it was just like washing over me. I was like, oh man, I felt like I was like high, I hadn't even had a drink, kind of thing. It was just, sometimes you get in that zone with music, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Do you want to move on to your next? Show us your next CD or album you want to show us.
This one, I was looking for it because they featured the late singer Killjoy. I can't say the band's name. I was looking for this record, and I subscribed to the Metalhead box, which I'm not now. This record I was looking for ages. It came through the post in the Metalhead box, and this is cool. Axon. And I like things about Alison Crowley and witchcraft.
Oh yeah. Haxan, is that?
Axon, yes.
How's that spelled? Haxxan or
something like that? Yeah.
Okay, I've not heard of them. That's an interesting kind of cover.
So that's I Came Fire. Hell's Records. Hell's Headbanger Records. So
I've heard that label. Yeah.
When this one came, I was like, "Oh yes," because I've been looking for it,
and you got it in a mystery box kind of thing,
like a mystery box. So I was like, "Yes, that's for me."
That's cool.
I can't remember I can't see the problems with the name, but the singer was called Killjoy.
Okay.
He passed away about, I think, 2018.
Okay, I've got a feeling I've heard the name. I'm sure
I can't see the band name, but it begins with an N. I'm not really good with bands' names. That's the one thing I have.
Okay, before he was in that band, he was in this other band,
was
he?
It was, then he did that one.
Were they American or?
I could spell the name out.
Not Nac Mysticum, is it, or something like that?
Necophaga, I think.
Oh, Necrophagy?
That might be the one.
Necrophagy, is it? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, some of the words are a bit tricky. You got to have some of the heavy metal band, they just open like a medical dictionary and like look for the longest word or the hardest word. They go, that'll do. All the other words have been taken. We'll take that word.
It's like, we said this one thing, but the music, yeah.
So what was it about that? It was just the fact that you managed to pick it up from the mystery box after you've been searching for it for so long.
Well, I heard about the singer Steph because I never heard the band before.
Right.
And I like the music because I like dark, heavy, horror kind of things. Alison Crowley. I've always been into that as a kid as well. Tarot cards. But when I listened to that, I think it was on YouTube. I just had to get it.
Right.
I just loved it. But when I came into the Metalhead box,
it was yeah. So that was the best ever one you got out of a Metalhead box, was it?
It was, yeah.
Right.
I got sick of it anyway. It was repetitive.
What the boxes were?
Yeah.
All right. Same kind of bands normally. How much? I mean, I've never heard of it. I think I've seen someone open it on a channel doing like Metalhead boxes. So was it just a couple of vinyl?
You just get a couple of vinyls, t-shirts, but it's usually bands you've never heard of. So
right. That's not too bad. As long as you know, because it's good to hear like bands you've never heard of. But if you listen to them and they turn out to be crap, then maybe it's not so good. Yeah,
I've had a few like that. Getting a few CDs, like, nah, not worth it.
All right, yeah, that's fair enough. That happens. The thing is, I was talking about like heavy metal band names. It's so hard to get them there. It's like all the good names have been taken like years ago and like been used like 3 or 4 times. So now everyone seems to like take 2 words and sort of mash them together to make a name out of, or you know, heavy metal is just crazy. Have you got any like favorite like daft band name that you've ever heard?
Daft ones. I don't think so. Daft ones. I think I've reviewed that many bands. I've lost count now.
Yeah. So I've got a couple I always remember as like really, to me, seemed like really weird names. Was Dismal Lapse. I thought Dismal Lapse, that's a bit of a weird name. What's that supposed to be? And the other one was Blustery Caveat. Blustery Caveat. I thought, what's that? How's that metal? And there's another one called Capybara, which is like a giant rodent. And then I was like, why name yourself after a giant rodent for? It just seemed like a really weird name. I've got a question from my mate Yankee Southerner Paul. He wants to know if you dig Judas Priest or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
That's a good point, actually. Like talking about your journey into metal. So you started off with that first Black Sabbath album, and where did it go from there? Because I've got like a few bands, like Judas Priest. I've got one album by them, and I don't really. I mean, did you pick up all the classic rock and all the like classic heavy metal bands, or did you go deep into the underground heavy stuff pretty early?
After I discovered Black Sabbath, I got a good friend I've known for like 20 years. He was into Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Whitesnake, Deep Purple, Rainbow. So I took it on to that, started listening to that stuff, and then gradually Dio, Cozy Powell, and then I just went heavier and heavier. But I still listen to the 60s and all that, the Talks, Animals. Yeah. I still listen to it all.
Right. So were you listen to the old stuff quite often? Like, would you have like a playlist where you listen to some extreme metal, then it goes to like 60s rock and roll, 50s rock and roll, then back to extreme metal?
Yeah, kind of. So it's a bit of a mixture with me.
Yeah. Do you have like when you like mood music? So you whatever mood you're in determines what you're going to listen to. Sometimes. What?
If I want to relax and chill out, it's black metal.
Right. Or the atmospheric kind of shoegazy black metal, that kind of stuff.
No, the raw, the nastiest. Raw.
Yeah. That relaxes you, puts you in a calm state. What about if you're angry? You got any angry stuff? Like what you like listen to when you're in a bad mood that cheers you up, or?
Of course, like maybe just heavy metal, like Dio, Judas Priest.
Right.
Speed stuff.
Right. What about a favourite band? Yeah. Have you got an absolute favourite band?
2. Right. I'm the Australian band now. Cradle of Filth and Queen.
Okay. So, that's a bit different. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Queen, I don't mind Queen. They're kind of one of the bands. I got lots of decent songs, but I'd never go out of my way to actually buy it or put it on to listen to. Like, if I hear it played or whatever, I don't like immediately have to leave the room or anything like that. Some bands, some music, I was like, no, I've got to turn that off. That's annoying me. I've got to turn that off. But bands like Queen, and I can tolerate them. So we've got first off. We've got an idea for a song. Oh, no, that's the wrong one.
Oh.
I asked him for a song title from Yankee Southerner. No, a band name, Crimson Satan. Is there a band called Crimson Satan? It wouldn't surprise me if there already was one. And Sleepy Reader says, I always equate my love for metal with my love for heavier blues. I don't know if younger fans make a connection or not, but the 60s rock came out of the blues. Yeah, because Black Sabbath early stuff is very bluesy, isn't it? Because they kind of took like the blues, the kind of riffs, and kind of like doomed them up a bit, didn't they? Made them heavier and nastier. Can you hear me, mate? You still there? I think he's frozen. I thought he'd been a bit quiet. I think he's got really bad internet at the moment, so I think he might have frozen. I don't know what to do now because I've got no records to show. Let's show. Let me. Oh, I can hear a little bit of noise. Are you still there? Oh, you're breaking up terribly, mate. You're breaking up terribly. Do you want to pop out of the chat room for a second and pop back in again? Yeah. I'll do a little dance while we're waiting. La 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 la. I'll give him 5 minutes, and I might have to just kill this one. Done. He's had problems with his internet, and he's supposed to have the people coming on Tuesday to fix it for him. All right, he's disappeared, so maybe he's going to come back into the chat room, and we can see if he comes back properly. Let me show you my CDs I got for Christmas. I only got a few. Let's have a look. Sorry for the close up of the beard. I'll show these CDs that I've got for Christmas while he's hopefully coming back. Lucy Fungus. The album's called Derek. It's pretty cool art, actually. It's kind of, it looks like it's more stonery than you think it was because of the mushrooms in it. Censor by the anti-metal police. Yeah, you're probably right, mate. No, they wouldn't need to censor us. We've only got 3 people watching, so it's not like we're spreading the blasphemy too badly. We've only 3 people in. But this is like I thought it was gonna be more stony, but it's like a really kind of doom, death kind of shenanigans. Pretty decent. This one, I don't know if you guys know, classic new wave British heavy metal band, Cloven Hoof. They've been going pretty much solidly. And I think a little hiatus at one point. But I think this is their album before last, actually. And I think they've got another one that they're recording at the moment. The actual bass player from this, Lee Payne, the only original member, I actually know him on Facebook, and I was hoping to get him in for basically an interview with the band, and also maybe do comic memories with him as well, because he's a comic fan. One of my first videos on YouTube was like a load of DC pictures of DC superheroes with one of these guys' songs, Laying Down the Law, as the backtrack. And then I saw him playing a gig at the Underworld, and I went up to him and said, hey, mate, because he commented on the video on YouTube. I said, hey, mate, you commented on my video. I did the DC heroes with your track. And then we just chatted for a couple of seconds. He was packing out, so I couldn't talk for long. But yeah, so hopefully when he gets his new album done, it will come on and do an interview with us. Right, and then the last one I got, Benediction, Scriptures, British death metal. My mate bought it for me. It says it's really cool, but I've not had a chance to listen to it yet because I'm a bit lazy. All right, he's trying to come back on. Let's see if he's back. Let's just see. Are you back, mate?
Think so. Is that better?
Yeah.
We're back.
Oh man, it was good. I was running out of things to talk about there. Well, I
apologize for that.
No, it's the old net, mate. What was we talking about anyway? When you went, I've completely forget. I was about the Black Sabbath starting out as being bluesy. They sort of took it from the blues kind of guitar of the rock bands of that time, the rocking bluesy kind of bands, and kind of extrapolated on it and made it heavier. Oh no, you're frozen again.
Blues.
No, it's not working, mate. Oh no. We might have to call this. We might have to call this a day, mate. We might have to try this another day. And when you get your net back on. Yeah. Hello? You still there? Can you hear me, Kris?
Sorry about that. Are we back?
Yeah, you're back again. I'm not sure if it happens again, we'll call it quits, I think, because
yeah.
We'll maybe do it
Sorry
again.
about this.
Maybe we'll do it again when you got your internet back.
Yeah. Well,
Sleepy Reader says we were censored by the anti-metal police. Right, let's show you next record then, because we're messing with your internet. We don't want to.
That's all right. I think it might be all right.
Yeah, we don't want to anger it.
As I said, I'm a Queen fan. Having this one and watching the TV show as a kid. Remember Starfleet?
Not really. No, I remember. What was that? A children's show?
It was a Japanese children's show.
Oh, okay.
It was like Thunderbirds, but it was a bit dark. But what I like about this one was Brian Mayer's on this.
Oh, okay.
It's Brian Mayer. Pardon?
Well, who's the actual artist, the actual band, or is it just the soundtrack from the
cartoon? It was just a soundtrack.
Oh. It's interesting. What made you choose that one then? Because it was Brian May, or because it was a show you really liked as a kid?
Believe it or not, it's got Eddie Van Halen on it.
Okay.
So, yes, it's because I enjoyed it as a kid, and when I found out Brian May actually did the EP, I just had to go and get it. So
you got a bit of glare there, so it's hard to make out as well. I don't remember that. What was that? BBC, ITV? What channel was that on?
I think it was just Japanese release only, the TV show. But I remember watching it as a kid on video.
Oh, you got it out on video, right? Explains why I don't know it. I mean, Starfleet sounds like something from Star Wars or Star Trek. I mean,
yeah, it was like an animation puppet.
Okay. Yeah, so, wow. That's a pretty deep dive. I've never heard of that one, mate.
Yeah, think of it's like Star Wars, Thunderbirds, and Power Rangers type of thing.
Into right, okay.
It's the one, but it was string puppets.
Right. Oh, wow, blimey.
I think it goes back to the 1980s.
Okay.
So, like a childhood memory.
Yeah. So, how did you manage? Did you pick that one up at the time? Is that from like when you were a kid? You picked that up, or?
I got this in a shop in Newcastle. The shop's closed down now.
Right.
But it turned into Weatherspoons, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
But I just had to have it.
Did you actually go out?
Yeah, there's a date on this. August 1983.
Okay, so you were pretty young then when that came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you was only about 4 then when that album came out, but you must have picked it up a little bit later than that, though. I suppose. How old was you when you actually picked it up?
I must have been about maybe 10 years old when I was watching something like that at my grandmom's.
Right. So. Oh man, that's cool. I've got some old. I think we've got some old vinyl from when we were kids. Got like couple of old Christmas albums we used to play every year at Christmas. Like I've got Pinky and Perky Christmas songs. Of Pinky and Perky. Yeah, do you remember Pinky and Perky?
I remember Perky.
2 little squeaky.
Never watched it, but I remember it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Alvin and the Chipmunks with that kind of squeaky little voice, but yeah, not quite as annoying as Alvin and the Chipmunks. Yeah, no. Pinky and Perky. And there's another one I've got, like a Tijuana brass band, like a Mexican brass band doing Christmas carols. It's like yeah, it's interesting. It's different. What about if you got any other childhood records, like potentially slightly embarrassing childhood record? I mean, not necessarily embarrassing, not as embarrassing as my Pinky and Perky record anyway.
I don't think I've got any, because most of my CDs got lost or stolen by ex-girlfriends. So I've lost a few of them. I'm trying to rebuy them, but with things and that, so it's a bit difficult.
My mate's he's got a Rupert the Bear album on 12-inch.
That'd be worth something.
Yeah, maybe. If you melted it down, turned it to an ashtray, it might be worth something. All right. So that Starfleet, like Japanese puppetmation or whatever it is, has that like that style of TV stuff you into? You into the Japanese manga and that kind of stuff?
I was never, not till I met my girlfriend here, which got me into it.
Okay.
Attack on Titan, Death Note,
right?
Into all that. So yeah,
right. So
she's sniggering.
Doesn't do cosplay or anything like that, does she?
She used to.
Oh, okay. So she ever got you dressed up?
Not yet, and never.
Ask her what she's going to dress you up as.
What are you going to dress me up as?
What was that?
I don't know. Something Attack on Titan.
Or one of the Titans. One of the.
Nah, I'm going to do dress and drag like Freddie Mercury with a Hoover.
yeah. That Titan. The Titans are like naked giants, and they with like with the weird sort of skin.
Yeah.
I did see that. I did see a bit of that Attack on Titan. The one I used to.
The hentai chick.
Oh, the hentai stuff. Yeah. I'm going to dress him up as a hentai chick with being chased by tentacles. That'd be quite fun. Yeah. Because I think it was in the 90s. There was a company called Manga Video. They had the Celtic Frost. Remember Celtic Frost? They had a Celtic Frost intro. Like it was like I can't remember what song it was from Celtic Frost, but it was like it ordered like the trailers of all their stuff, like put into a compilation kind of thing of clips, and there was a Celtic Frost soundtrack going over the top of it, and they had some good movies on there. Well, the best one was called Uotsukadoji, Legend of the Overfiend. Have you ever watched that one?
No.
You got to check that one out sometime. That's batshit crazy.
I'll check it out then. If I remember.
The Japanese are very inventive, but they are batshit crazy when it comes to a lot of their stuff. Have you got any cool Japanese bands that you like?
There's only the one, Sabat.
Oh yeah, the Japanese Sabat, because there's obviously a UK Sabat as well. They're pretty mad. Hey, you've got Brendan Van Doom. He likes Ninja Scroll. Is that another anime?
Never heard of that one.
Ninja Scroll. I think it is an anime. I think I've heard of that. There's what's that band? I believe Terror Squad. Terror Squad, a really fast thrash band from Japan. Awesome. Check them out sometime.
I think the Sign or something. SIGH.
Psy, yeah, Psy is another like a black metal band. Some
avant-garde, progressive.
Yes, I think Intestine Balladism. You're breaking up again a bit. I missed you a bit there. Yeah, Intestine Ballism, I think they were called, like a death metal band. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, Werewolf Knows Legend of the Overfiend. Had that on VHS. I've got it on VHS as well. Apparently, there's a band called Earthquake from Japan. I can't say I've heard of them. Anyway, let's move on to your next one. Then this your fourth one now? Is it?
Your
fifth one. I've lost track, mate. With all this internet going up and down, I've lost track.
Yeah, fourth one now.
Okay, let's have a look what you got there then.
Well,
Brendan, you'll have to come on this sometime, mate.
Yeah. Another one, got a passion for Cozy Powell.
Okay.
Have you heard of him? The drummer?
Yeah.
Well, I picked this one up from HMV.
Oh, it's supposed to be right. Here we go.
But it's not this one. This one I hunted down so much. It was a rare one.
Okay.
It's a rare one, this, and I was pleased to get it.
Right.
It features like Brian May, John Lord on keyboards as well. So
he's got Brian May on it as well. Did you pick it up for Brian May? So
it's because it's Cozy Powell. Jimmy Page is on it. Neil Merry, John Lord. So it's like different artists on it. So
yeah. So Cozy Powell is one of the drummers that you really like then. Yes,
really well, because he played for.
He's played for loads, isn't he? He's one of those names I've heard quite a lot. Who's the other one? His name? I can't remember the other guy who always used to play like for all the big bands. Like, can't remember. There's another guy. I'm sure he was in Black Sabbath for a while as well, but I can't think what his name is now. No. Anyway, Brad's gone. Did you ever any dreams of being able to play? Do you play any instruments, or did you ever try to play the drums or guitar or anything?
Never
bothered.
No,
that's unusual. Most people pick up a guitar or at least a triangle.
I think I was just more listening to it than playing it. So
you were sensible. You said, I can't do that crap. I've probably owned every instrument known to man, but never learned how to play a single one of them because I'm too lazy.
Same my problem. Just listen to it.
Yeah, at least you saved the money though by not actually buying them. So I bought them and then discovered I couldn't be bothered to learn how to play them and just left them sitting around the house gathering dust kind of thing. Do you do a lot of stuff on YouTube? Because Brendan Von Doom, he's in the YouTube community. There's a big vinyl community on YouTube. People sharing their records and vinyls and that kind of stuff. And actually, I was going to ask you that next because you've shown a couple of records. You started off with the records. Do you have a preference over two formats?
Bit of both, but I prefer my records because the sound's better.
Yeah.
I like the crackling sound.
Yeah, it gives it a bit of atmosphere.
I'm old school, and that's what I got brought up on records.
Yeah. Kind of when the CDs. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
when I was little, CDs were just coming in about 1985. So all I knew was a record.
Yeah.
So
it's like when I was first buying, like massively buying like music, it was all records. CDs hadn't come along yet when I was first buying, and they finally came along, and I kind of resisted them for a while. I was like, no, I'm not going to bother buying a CD. I'm happy with records. The artwork is a lot bigger. The thanks list you can read a lot easier. You know, like some of the color differences between like the background color and the writing on a CD, because it's so small, you can't make it out so well. But when it's on a record, like because it's bigger size, you can make it out fine. But but then they started putting like bonus tracks on the CDs that you wouldn't get on the albums, and I ended up caving in buying CDs, and I just got lazy and just bought nothing but CDs really, because they were probably cheaper as well for a while, I think. Plus they had extra bonus tracks, and they were a lot easier. You just put it on, left it. That was it. You didn't have to get up after 4 songs, turn it over.
But no, I love the records. So
have you got a decent record player as well?
That's all right. It does the job.
Yeah,
that's all I can ask for.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be fancy or technical. It's just simple.
As long as it works.
As long as it works, as long as it plays, I'm happy.
Yeah, I hardly play my records now, but when I go upstairs, because I don't know if you've watched my video or you've seen me on Facebook, you know I'm big into comic books. I'm always like sharing comic book stuff on there. So when I go upstairs to put some comics, I've got a big pile of comics I've read, take them upstairs to put them away, and I bang a record on when I'm putting them away, because it's an all-day job sometimes putting my records away. So putting my comics away, and I can listen to a couple of albums while I'm doing it. Right. Where was we talking about? Oh, Cozy Powell. So is Cozy Powell your favourite drummer? Or have you got a favourite?
He is, along with Roger Taylor from Queen.
Okay.
It's like their style of drumming. You know, how they play, especially Cozy Powell. He hits hard, he's heavy. I do like Animal from the Muppets and Animal from Motorhead as well.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, who from Motorhead? Taylor?
Motorhead. Phil Handel Taylor, I think it was.
Yeah, Phil the Animal Taylor. Yeah, he was like the classic one, the three classic fellas. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about guitars? Brian May's your favourite?
Brian May, Tony Iommi.
Right.
As well.
Yeah, classic. Kind of helped to invent the whole heavy metal genre, really, didn't he, with his guitar tone and playing style. What about, have you got a favourite bass player? It's kind of like an understated instrument. No, a lot of people don't sort of pay much mind to it, I suppose.
I do like Peter Steele and Lemmy, because they played their bass player was different, so especially Lemmy, how he played his bass. That was badass.
He was, he was. It was a character as well. The way he sang, was they had the microphone up in the air, like it's just such a sort of one of a kind kind of fellow, wasn't he, really? What about singing? Like, you got a favourite singer?
Freddie Mercury. Danny Filth.
Right, yeah. So you like the high, screamy kind of black metal style of vocals?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, mate. So we're going to move on to the your last record?
This one is because I was with my girlfriend here. Was our second year, and she got this for my birthday.
Right.
As I like my black metal and I like Mayhem's music, I got this off her on vinyl. It is Mayhem and Mayhem.
Right.
It's a double true. So, but it came with the CD as well.
Okay. Is that like an old one reissued, or is that a new album? It's a reissue. Is it like the really old like 90s recordings? Like, oh yeah. Back in some of them black metal ones at the time, they were. I mean, I don't know how old you were when you first started getting into black metal, but black metal was like the extreme genre that I least gravitated towards. I don't mind. I can listen to black metal; doesn't bother me at all. But I never sort of went out and sought it out much myself. Like Dark Throne, I've got some Dark Throne. I bought a few of their albums, but it was Bathory. A couple of their albums are possibly the first two are the most black metal ones, and they became the kind of like Viking black metal, didn't they? The slower, which I didn't get on with that one. But what about what did you like about the black metal? Did you like all the style and the?
Well, I got into Krill Filth and I like the Moloch, the symphonic stuff in it. Then I've got Dimmu Borgir, Emperor, Mian. And then, funny enough, I got into death metal after that.
Right.
So I got into black metal first, and I just fell in love with it. The sound, the atmosphere, and then the church burnings, the history of it. I was drawn into it, so.
Yeah, so the image was kind of like a selling point for you slightly. You saw the image and it kind of piqued your interest.
It did, especially with Krill Filth artwork with H.P. Lovecraft. Again, I love all that stuff. Hammer horror.
Yeah.
It's the stuff I got grew up on as a kid, so it draws me in.
Cradle of Filth have become one of those sort of discovery sort of gateway bands into metal, because when I was a kid, like, it was Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden was one of the first bands you discover, and that was happened to me. I discovered Iron Maiden. It was all downhill from there. But a lot of younger people, like, you hear them say, "Oh yeah, Cradle of Filth was the first band I discovered," because they sort of they just went off leaps and bounds, didn't they? They started off with a couple of demos which were more death metal, I think, and then they did that. What was the first album? Principle of Evil Made Flesh.
Yes.
And that just skyrocketed. That just catapulted into the stratosphere. Like, and they just took off from there. Like, they've not looked back since, have they? And I think they've they've helped to sort of get a lot of people into black metal now. Metal full stop.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's unusual though, because they're so kind of, well, some of the later stuff is a bit more gothic-y, so they're a little bit less extreme, I suppose. But it's I suppose the image probably helps as well, I guess.
It does. The image. And my first Cradle Filth CD, the Great Six one.
All right, cool.
So yeah.
Have you got the whole discography now?
I think I have. I'm not too sure. I have to double check that one.
Yeah.
So,
you got a favorite album on it? Because they've changed their style. I mean, to be honest, I've got the first album and I got the first EP that came after that, Vampire or whatever it was. And that's after that, I was like, you know what? I've kind of got off these now. They've got a bit like, I think
my favorite one is Ghost in the Fog album.
Oh,
I think it was.
Yeah, I don't even know that one.
I can't remember now, but the early stuff for Cradle.
Yeah. You see them live a lot up there?
I've seen them twice.
Right.
A lot of bands don't come live in Newcastle much now for some reason.
Right. Is it
not like London?
No. But I don't know if you heard all this stuff with Brexit and that. They reckon there's going to be a heck of a lot less gigs here now because people have to pay extra tax, for example, and visas. They have to buy extra visas, so they can't just do Europe on one visa. They have to get an additional visa to come here, and plus, probably customs charges and crap like that. So we're going to get a lot less gigs here. So I suppose it's good for the local bands. Hopefully they'll get, because you've got a couple of bands.
I think it's going to be good for the local bands.
Yeah,
definitely.
You got this because you say you're heavy into the underground. Tell us about some of your local bands. What's the best bands up there in your neck of the woods?
Fathom.
All right, that's the traditional old school one. Yeah,
you did them as well with Grant. I can never say the band's name. It's the one with the muff.
Acherontia Sticks. Yeah, they're cool.
Old Cobbs Road from Darlington.
Yeah. Old Corpse Road are cool. I've seen them live in London and in Leicester as well. I've seen them. I've seen them
once, and they were at the Biker Griff. They were good.
They're awesome. I like it when they do the. They always do like a kind of choral kind of bit, don't they? In quite a lot of their songs, like the Witch of Wookie Hole, they do like a chant. They do that in a few of their songs. They have this kind of chant going on, like I don't know, where one person starts, another person comes in, and it kind of overlaps, kind of thing. And you listen to that, with the orchestral bit over the back of it. It's like, oh man, that's always goes down well live. Always sounds cool live as well.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else. Okay, there's not many extreme metal bands up there. There's like Fathom, of course. 6.
Yeah. Venom was one of the sort of instigators of the like the heavier end of the they kind of like the real sort of get into the more extreme kind of stuff, wasn't they? They're like the godfathers of black metal, and they brought the stage kind of like personas to it, didn't they? With the different get-ups and so forth. Have you seen them live?
Never.
Oh,
I wish I could. I don't think I ever will. Not with the black exit, not unless virus.
Yeah. Because there's a couple of Venoms going now, isn't there? There's actually two alternate Venom lineups. I think one's got
Venom
Mantis.
Inc.
Yeah.
And Mantis or something, yeah.
Something like that. One's got, because there was 3 modes with Mantis, Kronos, and is it Abaddon? I think it is. And like 2 of them, I think, are in one band, and another one's on his own band. On his, but I think I've seen both of them. I can't remember them. I saw Venom Inc. definitely a few years ago. They were top. They were really cool. Got one of their other singers, Tony Dolan or something like that. I can't think his name is, but yeah, really good stuff. Anyway, you got anything else you want to share with us before we bugger off?
I don't think I have. No, not really.
All right. So, what about, can bands like give you submissions for stuff for you to review?
Submissions?
Yeah, just send you like. Do you only get promos, or do other bands approach you and sort of send you stuff for you to review?
Yeah, I usually do, just via emails and that.
Yeah. Is there a link on your website that people can contact you then and send you stuff?
Just fill in the contact form or just get in touch via Facebook.
Yeah,
Instagram.
I'll put a Facebook link in. Right, yeah. Facebook link is down below. So yeah, anyone wants to get in touch and get your stuff reviewed by Kris on Metal 101, the details are down below to send him your stuff. Cheers for coming on, mate.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, so the net was a bit up and down, but it was it was cool to share some memories anyway. Thanks for that. Talk to you soon, mate.
Yep. See you later.
All right, and see you later. I thought you were going to say something. All right, see you later, mate.
Bye.
Bye.